Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I'm Iain.
And I'm Gary. And today we're going to talk about Halloween 20 years later, or H2O as it's become known, and Halloween Resurrection. But first, Halloween H2O. 20 years since the second movie?
Yes.
Brings us back, finally, the Scream Queen that started the franchise, Jamie Lee Curtis, top billing. I was really excited to see her name come up, to see that she was going to be in the movie. I'm like, excellent. They're going to try and salvage the Halloween franchise. I'll be curious to see how they're going to bring her character into this existing storyline, knowing that she apparently died in a car accident by the fourth movie. And interestingly, in the opening credits, we see a newspaper cutout that says that she died in a car accident. So I'm like, okay. And then we establish the character. And straight away I'm wondering, well, what happened to Michael and the Cult of Thorn? What happened? Why didn't she ever try and look after her daughter Jamie? How come she's got a husband who's disappeared after having, these other afflictions? How come she's now got a son? What's going on, Iain?
Well, the story for H2O follows on, like we said, 20 years after the original night. Loree has faked her own death and gone into hiding and had Josh Hartnett for a son. And Michael has been hibernating for 20 years. Forget everything that happened in 3, 4, 5, and 6. None of that happened. None of it. It's all...
What?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
What?
Sorry. None of that happened. Dr. Loomis has died in the explosion in the room, like we kind of figured he had in Halloween 2, because it was a fuck-off explosion. And Michael, obviously stumbling out and burning on the floor, we're led to believe that after Loree left and the police went in to pick him up, his body disappeared. And he's been waiting 20 years or searching for her for 20 years. At the start of the movie, he comes across the nurse from the original Halloween movie, finds her location, and finds the location and address of Loree.
This is 3 years after the last movie. So in that short space of time, the studio, again, got rid of the rights to the movie, and it went to Dimension, I think, at this point in time, and they decided to scrap everything that happened in the other movies.
That was for the best.
Perhaps for the best, but yeah, you know what, you're probably right.
As a reboot, this is what this film was. It was a reboot to the franchise. All of the other Halloween movies had been absolutely terrible. Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street were beginning to die, and slowly they were trying to reboot their franchises as well. Wes Craven had just had a massive success with the release of Scream and Scream 2, which I love Scream 1, because Scream 1 is everything that Halloween did back in 78. Scream did the exact same thing back in the 90s. They even pay homage to Halloween in the movie by giving us all the rules of surviving a horror movie. So for Dimension to come along and go, hey, let's make a new Halloween movie, I'm like, really?
Michael Myers. Yeah, right.
Even bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis's character, I'm like, I'm sorry to do this if you're watching this review, but we already know how this is going to end. Before the film has even started, as a Michael Myers fan, as a horror movie fan, I know this formula. He's going to turn up. He's going to hunt some teens. He's going to obviously Michael is going to do his thing. And the problem is, Michael's thing isn't really a lot. It works on a very small scale, but nothing too massive, especially in a fucking dormitory school with like 4 actors in it. He kills off those people at the beginning. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This is what surprised me about this film when I was reviewing it. The first guy Michael Myers kills in this movie is Robin.
Oh shit!
And he kills him with a skate to the face.
I found that quite amusing. And we do also have another callback to the first movie where we have the nurse reprising her role from the first movie, who then also falls foul to Michael Myers, who's obviously trying to get some records onto Loree and Dr. Loomis to obviously try and investigate.
Yeah. But he gets this information, he goes to, he heads to the school, and we meet Jamie Lee Curtis's character, and she is traumatized. We're led to believe that Loree has been traumatized for 20 years and has completely abolished Halloween in her house and is completely in hiding, and yet she's the headmistress of a school, which is like the biggest job you could probably get. You know, PTA meetings and parent-teacher conferences and shit like that. Your face is going to be everywhere. If you have a serial killer brother, you probably don't want that high profile of a job. You know? We have her son, Josh Hartnett. He, the same year, would release The Faculty and would try to establish himself as a credible action actor. I really like The Faculty. Watching H2O after, he's playing the same fucking character that he played in The Faculty. And there's this whole relationship thing going on where he doesn't believe his mother. Oh, I don't believe you when you tell me that your brother was a mass murdering serial killer, because there's no evidence of it. There's no evidence of it. All those 3 movies that we just previously sat through don't exist. Those teens that he killed back in 1 and 2, oh, that's fine. He burned in that room. I'm like,
He's dead. Michael Myers is dead.
I believed he burned in that room, but you keep bringing him back.
It's about the 30-minute point into the movie where Loree is having flashes of Michael Myers sort of in the windows, in the background.
Yeah,
she has really lame jump scares where she keeps walking into people walk into her. And so we've already know as an audience, we've seen Michael Myers in the opening killing people. So she's like, is Michael back? Is he around? It's Halloween. I'm tense. I'm nervous. And we're just like, well, we know that he's around.
Yeah.
So just get to it. And then at the 30-minute mark, I think it's the most well-acted scene in the movie. And that is when Jamie Lee Curtis and Josh Hartnett have that scene outside.
Yeah.
And they're arguing with each other. That sort of mother-son relationship, it felt quite genuine in that scene. And even though they're kind of arguing, it did actually sort of cement how the characters were feeling. It was fascinating to see her reprising that role. And now that she's had all of these years as an actress, her character is so much stronger for it.
Yeah.
I also really do like the scene where she is acting alongside her mother from the Psycho movie. And I don't know if you noticed the reference, but they actually play some of the music from Psycho at that point. And the car that she gets into is actually the car from Psycho.
And her line is actually the line from the first movie. When I first watched this movie, I really liked all those little nods. Everything that they put into this movie, the first time I watched it, really worked.
Felt like a genuine effort to do this right.
Yes. Watching it subsequently after, it just makes cliches out of its own cliches. You know, Michael Myers is a memory at this point. I fucking hate that. I hate the fact that he's standing behind her while she's looking in a window. She's not scared, she's not worried, but she turns around and poof, he's gone. And I'm like, so is he there? Is he not there? Oh no, he's in the car outside. LL Cool J is talking to him. Fucking LL Cool J is in this film.
As a struggling erotic fiction writer.
She took off her clothes, revealing her satiny, soft femininity. And Lawrence looked at her with lust in his eyes and said, I want to invade every part of your being. I want to tantalize myself with your sweet nectar.
LL Cool J was okay in Deep Blue Sea.
Agreed.
But that was only because every now and again I thought he was going to die. In this movie, the first time I watched it, I kind of hoped he was going to die. Spoilers, he doesn't. And you sit there throughout the whole movie, but you've seen inept security guards get wiped out all over the place in other horror movies. You know, but Michael just can't kill LL Cool J. Directed by Steve Miner, he'd already established things like Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3. He done another great 80s horror movie, House. Lake Placid. He made that fucking god-awful remake of Day of the Dead. I can kind of understand what he was trying to do in this film. And it's what every director had already tried to do before him. And that was redo what John Carpenter had successfully done in 1 and 2. But you can't keep fucking milking it. If you keep milking it, it goes dry. You see Michael there, you close your eyes, he's gone again. Poof, he's gone. You know, Michael does one thing to distract you. You look through the window, he's walked behind you. Poof, he's gone. Yeah, I'm just like, fucking kill something, Michael. Fucking kill it.
It just, again, descends into formulaic, typical 90s horror. I wanted to give up during the course of this film, especially when we just follow the teenagers walking around the house and they're getting killed off screen, and then we see the rest of them running around being scared, and I'm like, I want to care, but I just can't. And I actually thought it was slightly tense when they decide they're going to make a break for it and try and leave the house, and Loree gets out of the car and she's like, just go. Just go. I'm going to go back and deal with my brother. I was like, okay, finally, just the showdown. This is what I needed to see. This is why I'm watching this movie. I want closure. I want this to end, and I want it done right. This film has done enough to give me the impression that it can handle this and that it's going to do it properly.
But it doesn't.
We end up with, I mean, the sequence lasts about 25 minutes where we have Jamie Lee Curtis in the house stabbing and attacking Michael Myers, and I'm like, you know what? This film should have been called The Revenge of Loree.
Yeah.
Because she kicks the shit out of Michael Myers. She dual wields knives, she butchers him, she slashes him, she stabs him repeatedly, she kicks him off the balcony, she kicks him down to the ground, and then there's a small breather, and she's like, yeah, got him. Done. I was like, please don't. Please tell me you're going to go down there and double tap. Finish this. End it. Stab him in the heart. Stab him in the head. Decapitate him. Something.
He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
You had the chance to finish him, and so eventually she does finish him again. And the police turn up, and the ambulances turn up, and they're getting ready to take Michael's body away. And I was screaming at the TV at this point, do something! If you roll credits now, that is it. You just keep doing the same thing, and I'm getting tired of it. And then out of the blue, Loree just goes, you know what, fuck it. He's not dead. I know this. And I'm like, that is an excellent character.
Yeah.
Excellent. I respect her. End this now, please. And so she drives off with him. And I was like, well, that's a bit out of the ordinary, really. I mean, if she was going to do something, she should have done it there and then. And so she drives off with this body bag in the back, and she keeps looking over her shoulder. It's not moving. Nope, he's not moving. Oh, wait, he is moving. Slam on the brakes, and out the window he goes. And I'm like, okay, brilliant.
Come on. Come on, get up.
We've already seen Michael Myers get run over. That's not going to be any surprise. So she hits him full pelt with the truck, and Michael Myers is splashed up against the windshield.
Yeah.
And then they go tumbling off the side of the cliff. And I was like, well, that was really stupid. We watched Michael Myers get thrown aside. We watched the truck go rolling. We watched Jamie Lee Curtis jump out of the side. I was like, that was your idea all along? That was your plan? It's not really a good one, but conveniently it works, and you're unharmed, and Michael's pinned between a tree and the truck.
That was lucky.
That was really fucking lucky. And then, perhaps, the best scene in the film, the most poignant moment of the entire franchise, if you include Halloween 1 and 2, to get to this point where Michael was pinned, he can't move, and spoilers here, she comes up to him, and you can see the longing I mean, I hate the fact that you see Michael Myers' eyes throughout too much of this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't like that it humanizes him too much. I prefer just the black holes. And so when he's reaching out to her, I kind of felt sympathetic to Michael Myers, but not as much as I did for Loree, who's just like, you know what, you are my brother, but you are a sick fuck who has done nothing but ruin my life and killed so many people. And they have that moment where they reach out to each other, and it's nice. And then Loree retreats her arm and decapitates him, and I cheered out loud. I was like, yes, they have done it. They've killed Michael permanently. I would go and cough his arms and legs and just bury them in different corners of the earth, just to be sure. But the movie just ends there, triumphantly. This nightmare is over, reflected, it's already echoed the first movie, it's echoed her class, where she's teaching about confronting evil for the final time and overcoming it. You cannot escape your fate. I'm like, brilliant. The film's brought it all back to full circle. Great way to end the movie. I definitely recommend it. If you're a fan of the original Halloween movies, this is everything that you would have wanted and expected to conclude this story. Despite the fact that the film is now aging and it doesn't hold up as well as it did when it came out, it's still so much better than the last 4 movies that you'll forgive it for those things because it does do what it intended to do. End the franchise.
But I kind of agree with a lot of points you said there, but at the same time, the film is just tiresome. I can't express this enough that 1 and 2 are so amazing that they try to reboot it. And this is what you get from this film, is a reboot. And then you like we said, you carry 40 minutes of them just following Loree in the scary jump sequences. The only people who are going to be scared of these scary jump sequences are people who have never seen the previous Halloween movies. If you've never seen any of them, then yes, you may enjoy Halloween H2O. But how the fuck are you watching Halloween H2O and have no understanding who Michael Myers is up to this point? That's the only major problem I have with this film as a Halloween fan, is that I've seen everything in this film. And so of course it's going to work as a horror movie because you're chucking in the right ingredients, but as a story lineage legend for Michael Myers, it sits up there as badly as 4, 5, and 6. My favourite scene, talking about the ending, my favourite scene is the sequence where Loree has gotten out of the car and sent Josh Hartnett off, finally. If he died, I'd have fucking cheered for this movie. And she's walking up that little road bit, carrying the axe. And the moonlight, the lights are on her, and it's all dark, and you've got the little music bit from the original Halloween, and she screams Michael. And I really enjoy that bit. Visually, it looks really good. The sound is really good, and it is her way of calling him out and saying, I'm not running anymore. And I'm like, you shouldn't have been running anyway. He's a fucking pussy. I don't recommend it unless you have never seen it.
Which brings us on to the 2002 movie Halloween Resurrection.
Do you want me to take this one? So, spoilers in this one, people. At the end of Halloween H2O, Loree had kidnapped the body of Michael and had escaped with him, wanting to put an end to the long-going nightmare.
The best ending of the entire franchise, for me.
Next to number 2. Obviously, she pins Michael's body underneath a truck and she decapitates him. But it turns out it was all false. At the end of H2O, when she was fighting with Michael and had left him lying unconscious on the floor in the dining room, she had gone outside and a medic had come in to check on the body of Michael Myers, like that's ever a good idea. Michael had grabbed the medic, crushed his larynx so that he couldn't scream, and then dressed him in Michael's clothes and stolen the medical clothes for himself. So the body, obviously, that Loree had decapitated was of a innocent man who had 3 children. And so she's been institutionalized. Michael has spent the last 3 years in hiding again, I'm guessing, hunting down Loree, and confronts her in the institution. Loree is killed off at the beginning of the movie, and Michael returns home to the original Myers house.
The end.
Which is still standing.
That is where it should end.
No, Gary. That's not the end. Busta Rhymes. Yes, you heard me. Busta Rhymes
Tyra Banks.
and Tyra Banks are running a TV show for the internet called Dangertainment. They plan on spending the night in the Myers house and investigating it, trying to work out what makes Michael Myers so crazy. Obviously, this doesn't go down well with Michael Myers, who happens to return home and realizes that his house is infested by teens.
Let the Dangertainment begin out.
Well, people, let's do it.
Oh my fucking god, I'm so glad I got over that. This fucking franchise just got considerably fucking worse, and I tried my best. I really fucking did. If you've seen the other reviews, I really tried to fucking keep Michael Myers on a pedestal of respect. The first and second movies are fucking amazing, and I love Michael Myers so much. I enjoyed Jason Voorhees. I think Freddy Krueger is fun, but Michael Myers was always a standalone, perfectly fucking amazing psychological fucking teen killer. And then you fucked him over for like 7 fucking movies until you stick him in one with fucking Busta Rhymes. Who thought that was a good idea? Probably the same asshole who sat there going, hey, let's put LL Cool J in a fucking film with Michael Myers. That's going to be fun. We're going to get fucking Tyra Banks. We'll get that fucking dickhead from American Pie because everybody likes him. We'll get a really young looking Katie Sackhoff, which I'll get to a little bit later. And we'll just go through the same monotonous fucking bullshit we've tried to ram down the fans' throats for the last 20 years. Michael kills some people at the beginning, then wanders around stalking Lee, kill off all the other teens, and then he gets fucking trapped by the fucking main character, who we don't even care about. I don't even remember her name.
Sarah, are you gonna wear this? Because I thought I told you that we were gonna be on camera.
No.
I literally don't remember her name. I tried to. I sat there taking notes for this film because I wanted something good. But it's a fucking mockery. A mockery of at least fucking 20 to 25 years of work of trying to establish a really good psychological horror character, and it's fucking mocked in front of me by fucking Busta Rhymes.
20 minutes into this film and I stopped taking notes. I threw my pen on the floor. When Loree is killed by Michael Myers, the whole movie just came crashing down at that point. I understand that it almost pays respect to her mother, who obviously died early in the Psycho movie, and it's kind of paying its respects that way. But I'm pretty sure that Jamie Lee Curtis only turned up in this movie just to have her character killed off, just so that she could perhaps suggest to the writers that they need to leave this alone. They also need to be killed off.
I'll see you in hell.
It's also the insult that we find out that everything that made the last movie's ending so spectacular is just ruined. It takes away all of that, and it still doesn't even make sense when they try and explain it. Why would he then still be trying to kill Loree in the ambulance if he'd had his throat crushed? He would have made some effort to try and communicate with her some other way. Why would he be reaching out to her when he's been crushed?
What I never got is she stabbed Michael multiple times and threw him off that ledge.
And he has that blood
and he's
splat
got blood
in the
splats. At the end of H2O, you can still see the blood splats. At the start of Resurrection, they're not there. Now, if they weren't there, if this is a different fucking guy, wouldn't Loree had gone, oh look, he hasn't got multiple stab wounds around his fucking body. He's got a crushed larynx. Hey, look, everybody, it's Larry. Larry's in the Michael Myers mask. And then Michael Myers would be like, oh shit, I totally fucking forgot about that. No, you completely abolish that whole fucking idea and have Larry pinned to a tree and decapitated.
Just awful, absolutely awful, and so when that sequence is over, and then the movie sort of starts again anew, introducing all of these characters and sort of predicting what's going to unfold in this movie, it's the worst. It is the absolute worst, and it's also at a time when reality TV shows were dominating television. We would already had this massive resurgence in shaky, homemade, found footage genre. Had really been kickstarted just a few years prior to this with the Blair Witch Project, and the influence of that is seen throughout this turd of a movie, where throughout the characters have got their own cameras and microphones attached to them, and for whatever reason the film keeps cutting to their POVs in amongst actual film footage, and it is the worst because every time we get static, we get subliminal flash shots of Michael Myers in between the frames, and it's just so frustrating because it's so poorly done, and as if we aren't already fed up with that sort of trope of TV reality, we get to see these characters more realistically, where they get to break the fourth wall and talk to the audience and tell us to keep watching, whereas all I want to do is fucking turn it off.
You watch.
I love Kate Sackhoff as Starbuck. She was really good in the new Riddick movie. But going back to see her early career, where she wants to flash her boobs on the internet for some ratings, just want to gouge my eyes out.
That's it. As a Battlestar fan, the only saving grace for this movie is Katie Sackhoff. That's it. Even as a Halloween fan, I don't ever want to see this movie. Ever. I only watched it for the review. You know, if I had to, if I really fucking had to force my way through it, I would. But the only thing that will keep me going is Katie Sackhoff smoking weed and getting her head cut off. That is my favourite bit. That whole entire bit is my favourite bit. Everything else is a fucking mockery.
Talking about a mockery, she gets decapitated in one swing of the blade. Where later in the movie, when Michael slashes someone, he barely nicks someone along the leg. And I'm like, with that same stroke, you decapitated someone. But an ankle? Too much.
The fucking camera work. What the fuck were they thinking? We're going to have it running from everybody's head. So we get fucking static, jostled cam in, trying to see what's going on. Then we're going to cut to surveillance cameras that we've got dotted around the house. But not in the actual vital areas where Michael is getting in and out. We're then going to cut to the cameraman. The cameraman film shot in the film. So, okay, wait, is that third person? Is that completely on its own? I'm getting really confused now. Now we're going to cut all the way to some fucking kid who's ripping off Blade Runner and is giving the main girl all the information about the house because he's watching it on the internet.
Through Instatext? I don't think we even have had that technology today where it appears as you're writing it.
I love the font. How he was able to change the size of his font.
To bold font when it's like really important. There's no salvaging this film whatsoever. It starts off shit. It descends into shit. And when it's all over, all you're going to think is that was total shit. Busta Rhymes is nothing but a self-congratulating douchebag in this film. He cannot act to save his life. Could you believe it when he was sat there watching kung fu movies?
That scene did make me giggle because I was just like, this. I would rather be doing that rather than watching this film. What really fucking insulted me, I knew it was coming. I don't even know why it insulted me even more. What really fucking insulted me was when he tried to kung fu fight Michael Myers. We had already seen some fucking jock kid in number 4 get his head crushed by Michael when he tried to fight him. We've seen people get fucking annihilated. Michael Myers wiped out 2 police stations. Fucking just on his own. Kung fu fighting Busta Rhymes? No, can't.
Kicks Michael Myers fucking flying, sends him out the window, hangs him.
Fuck with me? Huh? Fucker.
I cringed so hard when I was watching Michael Myers stalking Busta Rhymes as Michael Myers. I was like, this is ridiculous. Why? I just want this film to end. But I will admit, when Busta Rhymes turns around and sees Michael Myers there and starts berating him and cursing him, I started laughing. I actually thought it was quite funny to see Michael Myers talk like Busta Rhymes. Because if you imagine if Michael Myers all of a sudden did just start talking and acting like that.
Charlie, where the fuck you been at, man? Don't you know we've been looking all over this motherfucker for you? God damn. What the hell somebody gotta do to get a little decent help up in this motherfucker?
You can see how much of a tightrope this film is trying to walk in trying to be serious, and how very easily it can just descend into hilarity.
I ain't telling you to be Michael Myers. I'm playing Michael Myers. If them kids come around and see us dressed up in the same shit, you're gonna ruin the whole effect. God damn it. The hell is wrong with you? I said, what you looking at me like that for? Huh? You don't get it? You don't get it? Your shit ain't working up there or something?
Well, if I had to credit the film in any respect whatsoever, I will admit that there was one transition that was seamless and actually worked, and that's when the knife comes down and it transitions to a website where the knife is there and then the camera pulls back again. I was like, that worked, that was seamless, the rest is shit.
Like I said, Katie Sackhoff smoking weed and getting her head cut off. That was the penultimate moment. The film builds up to your typical chase sequence, and not even a particularly good one, because you should know by now how this is going to end. It ends with Michael being defeated
and being carted off to a hospital or a morgue or any other location where he'll be free to resurrect on his own. My favourite scene in the film, and it was because I called it and counted down. 3, 2, 1, oh, there's Busta Rhymes to save the day. It was that predictable. You could count down his appearance to save the character.
Is that when he smashed in the door?
And he smashes in the door and he turns to Michael Myers.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Oh, I laughed so hard because it's just so bad. It is so insultingly awful.
But we're not supposed to be laughing at a Halloween movie.
No, you've turned Michael Myers into a joke. He's being mocked by the other characters for his imbecilic nature. He's just useless, and you just don't want to picture him that way. And when you see him tangled in the wires, getting his balls electrocuted...
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
If you just want to die, you're just like, Michael, I'm ashamed to watch you. Just die, please. Just don't. You don't need to be resurrected anymore, because it's just going to get worse. And for all intents and purposes, this is now the end of the franchise?
No. We will be reviewing the Rob Zombie remakes of Halloween 1 and 2.
Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
love him. He's got something that I can't resist, but he doesn't even know that I exist. Johnny Angel, how I want him, how I tingle when he passes by.
Hey, Mikey! Happy fucking Halloween!